Hey there friends, how's it going? My name is Rabbit and welcome to episode number 3 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy Origins, specifically Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy 1. I know this is kind of an odd place to bring you guys back because where we had parted ways in episode number 2, I was going to do a little bit of grinding for XP as well as some gil so that we could afford a couple of things before we went northbound to the Temple of Chaos to save Princess Sarah. Now while I was doing a little bit of grinding, I realized that I never really took the time to read the descriptions of each of the different classes to you all. So I'm sure for some of you who are completely new to Final Fantasy, seeing my odd team probably means nothing to you because, I mean, is it all just cosmetic that changes? Are there actual differences between the classes? Well, let's take a look at the descriptions that the game provides, and I think it will become a little bit more clear as we make our way through various portions of the game. Teams that might be better than others for tackling certain bosses or certain enemies, etc. So starting out, I don't want to belabor this because I want us to hop right back in and continue our journey. We have the warrior, which I told you guys is pretty common. I would say most people have at least one in their party, if not two. I've opted not to take one just because I'm ridiculous and I like to make things difficult for myself. But the warrior says it is a powerful fighter and weapons expert. We have the thief, which I told you I never really enjoyed the thief's play style. I really could not comment on whether or not it's a well-regarded class versus an ill-regarded class. I'm not sure where people kind of place the thief, but I know for me personally, it's not a character that I think is that impactful, so I almost never take one. I know some people do like challenge runs or super cheese runs, and they might have multiple thieves, if not an all-thief party. But nevertheless, the description says agile rogue with nimble fingers and precise attacks. The monk, warrior monk, strong in both body and mind, fights best unarmed. Now, this is going to come into play a little bit later. You guys do recall that we did pick up some nunchucks for him, but there will be a point where we'll transition into having him be unarmed because, as the description even says itself, that's how he best fights. So for our red mage, it dabbles in both white and black magic, also a decent fighter, and this is kind of why I opted to pick this as, well, for me anyway, my focal protagonist. It's the one leading my party. Not that it matters, you can change your formation. But anyway, I really like the red mage. My team is very magic heavy since, you know, I did go for red mage monk, then the white and black mages, but the red mage can deal some decent damage. Well, we'll see if he deals enough. We've next got the white mage, which is a mystic specializing in white magic to heal and protect others. Then last, but certainly not least, the black mage, which deals great damage to foes with black magic. Physically weak, which we have seen our black mage does hardly no physical damage, but he will scale well late game in terms of his mana-based damage or magic-based damage. So those are the actual descriptions for all of the characters. I just wanted to make sure that you each had an opportunity to read it or hear me read it to you. So with all of that being examined together, let's hop back out. We're not starting another new game. I just wanted to show this to you. We will load my save. And I actually have 2 alternating saves going here. If you guys have joined me for journeys before, you know I kind of like to do this in case I make any sort of boo-boos or come across any hiccups. I think it's always nice to have kind of rotating files so that you can correct anything and not lose too much time. So I'm 1 hour and 2 minutes in, and look at all those steps, guys, that we have accumulated. And you can see that I was successful in getting my 4 characters to level 3. It took me a little bit to do that, but I think it was well worth it before we head to the Temple of Chaos. So I will show you very quickly. I did upscale our magic a little bit. Well, upscale. I basically bought magic is what I'm trying to say, but I'm making it unnecessarily fancy. We've got Cure 1 on Rohit as well as Sleep 1. We already know what Cure's description says. Restores 16 to 32 HP. Sleep 1 puts foes to sleep. We've got nothing on Burl. But Melvin has a few things to his name. We've got Cure 1. We also have Dia 1, which inflicts 20 to 80 damage on undead foes. Now, I do think, don't hold me to this, we'll see for sure later, but I believe this is an AoE, so it should target all enemies on the battlefield. And then lastly, we have Shield 1, which raises defense by 8 points. I don't know how much people think this is a necessary spell to pick up this early in the game, but I still thought it might be best for us to go ahead and have it, especially because my team is kind of iffy. We don't have that warrior class, so I am a little bit worried about us being very weak in terms of our defenses, so that's why I thought, let's go ahead and grab Shield 1. And then for Tyrone, we have Fire 1, inflicts 10 to 40 or fire damage specifically, and lastly, Bolt 1, which inflicts 10 to 40 lightning damage. So that's it in terms of spells. You can see we've only got 30 gil to our name, but that's okay, because I already spent the other 30 I had to sleep, save, heal, all that good stuff. I did want to, one final thing, show you for this option where it says system and there's a default versus custom. I was just tinkering with this a little bit to familiarize myself with some of the changes in Origins version of Final Fantasy versus the original NES release. So if you click on this, you'll see some of the extra settings that they did add to the game, which rocks my world, you guys. So the first one being auto target. The description says that if a targeted foe has been defeated, the next attack will be redirected. Now, I don't know why this just completely escaped me and went over my head as I was going through combat, but when playing the original NES version, if you, let's say, I had Tyrone cast Fire 1 and it was a one-shot kill and the enemy was gone, if I also had Melvin queuing an auto attack on that same enemy, if it was already dead, it would just be a miss. Like your characters would continue to attack whatever space you had already prepped them to focus on, whether an enemy was still there or not. So it was kind of lame. I mean, some might say, you know, skill cap, skill curve, learning curve, whatever, and that's kind of up to you to plan a little bit better your damage output so that you don't end up with a whole bunch of unnecessary misses. I think this is a nice quality of life change. Personally, I don't think this lowers the skill cap, and I don't think it makes the game significantly easier as much as it just makes it a little bit more palatable. So that's my opinion on auto targeting. I'm leaving it on because I found it very frustrating when I had played it a few times in the past, the original NES Final Fantasy, and I just would miss all these attacks. Anyway, Dash, we already looked at that, and you guys saw I was quite excited that we can actually run on the map now, so that's going to save us a bit of time in terms of exploring. We've got Battle Support, which allows the use of Life 1, Life 2, Stona, and Gold Needles in battle. And then Button Info displays info on button usage during battle. I don't really know about these two. We'll kind of take a look and see. It's not really sticking out in my mind, the value and the major changes that come with this. But some of you that are better, maybe I should say deeper vets to Final Fantasy, might have a little bit more to offer in terms of commentary on those custom changes. Anyway, I just really wanted to allow you guys to see everything, especially if you've not played Origins before and you've only played the original Final Fantasy. But okay, there is nothing else left for us to do. Let's head to the Temple of Chaos, which we were informed is north of the castle. So you guys will actually get to see us in action. Level 3, baby. Look at our HP. Oh my gosh, that one actually did a bit of damage to us. I'm just going to opt for physical attacks here. I don't want to waste my mana. You guys may have already noticed that we kind of have charges. So this is a different mana-based system than you probably are familiar with from later Final Fantasies, where instead of us having like 30 mana and then, you know, each spell costing like 10 or whatever, we can use a certain number of charges to cast the spells depending on the level that it's assigned to. So I think it's important to hold on to your mana because you never know when you're going to run out and how long you'll be dungeon crawling before you have a chance to revisit a town or an inn or a resting place. So we gain 6 more HP, 24 more gil. Not that I really care too much about the money right now, but while I am thinking about it, I should also show you guys that I did pick up a couple of items. I got 2 potions, 1 antidote, and I did go ahead and grab a sleeping bag. I'll probably grab another one whenever we do go back to Cornelia once we have successfully saved the princess. But for now, I think we have enough to our names. Oh my gosh, why is everyone focusing Rohit? Come on. It must be that amazing little feather in his hat. I mean, wouldn't you be jealous of his swag, friends? I kind of want to make hats a thing. I feel like in the winter time, a lot of people will really rock hats, but outside of that, you don't see people really just wearing hats anymore, which is a shame because I think hats are terrific. So we will keep going up. That was the bridge that the king said he would repair for us once we have... Well, we'll just go ahead and have everyone focus everyone. As you can see, I'm a little hesitant at times because I feel like it's almost muscle memory where I'm like, ooh, do I want to have everyone focus the same enemy spot? Because I don't want to have all those misses. But we've got auto-targeting now, friends. So I don't know what Argo targeting is, but auto-targeting is wonderful. So as I was just pointing out to you guys, that little spot up there was the bridge that the king referred to when he said if we do save the princess for him, he would go ahead and repair it so we can kind of cross. Oh gosh, we've got some new enemies, wolves. They shouldn't be too tough. This is why I kind of like to go ahead and get us up to about level 3. You could probably do just fine at level 2. You'll end up getting another level as you're heading up to the Temple of Chaos anyway. And I think I'm headed in the right direction. Like I mentioned to you guys, it's been a minute since I last played, and the game doesn't always do the best job of telling you where to go, but I do think that's one of those limitations from the past that I don't quite mind. Some people may not enjoy as much the lack of direction at times, but I don't think it's so bad that you'll be lost for hours and hours. I think sometimes you just have to run around. The big issue is just that the encounter rate is so high, so there are moments where it just feels like a hassle and a half to get through everything. But here we are, the Temple of Chaos, so we did find where we need to go, and just listen to this music for a second. Beautiful, right? I love it. I love the soundtrack to this game. I mean, say what you will about other aspects of it, it's beautiful. Well, we're gonna run around and see what we can end up picking up. We've got some zombies, which we'll just physically attack. I'm level 3, you guys, so you guys got nothing on me. Yeah, even Melvin is kicking some booty. But we'll have quite a lot of gold once we're done making our way through here. And I should share with you guys, for those of you who haven't ever watched me play a game before, I will do my best. Ooh, we found a leather cap in the treasure chest. We'll go ahead and equip this, and then I'll finish what I'm about to say. I think we'll give this to Rohit, the leather cap, a cap made of leather. And we do see our defense goes up a whopping 1 point. So not amazing, but hey. Defense is defense, and I'll take any boost that the game gives us for free. So what I was starting to say is, for those of you who have joined me in the past on my RPG adventures, woo, these spiders! Now, these guys aren't messing around, so we're not going to play too much. I am going to go ahead and just queue a heal. I don't want to have my team die this early on, but I also don't want to unnecessarily waste mana. So I need to be mindful and pay attention to what's going on. Holy cow! These spiders got to go. I think we'll be good without needing to heal. Well, come on, you guys. Can we kill him before he kills us? Oh, thank goodness. The 2 mages are the ones that came through here. Okay, let me finish my thought. I was just going to say, for those of you who have not joined me before on my previous JRPG adventures, I will start in episode number 4, cutting out repeat fights. I just want to show you guys everything on camera now, so you can grow accustomed to the play style and sort of how the game works, how combat works, all of that good stuff. But in the future, I will remove, oh my gosh, duplicate fights where, so now we're fighting skeletons. If we ran into another set of skeleton enemies, we would just go ahead and take it out. Now see, Dia would be awesome here, but then I'm going to only have 1 cure option or 1 spell option remaining for Melvin because I'm at 2 out of 3 charges remaining for my level 1 spells. I'm going to go ahead and do it just to get rid of these guys because holy cow, they're kind of kicking our butt. A little more than I'd like for them to, so maybe level 4 would have even been the way to go. Now, they're not too powerful in terms of their defense, but we can't be messing around with this all day. And just so you guys can see a spell, and it is an AoE, as I thought. So we gain 9 XP and 12 gil, which is not a lot for how much damage they dealt. But yes, starting in episode number 4, repeat fights, I'll go ahead and cut out. We'll heal up our monk, and we'll heal up our white mage as well. So I've only got one charge left for Rohit as well as Melvin. We've got to be careful. I will be picking up a lot of potions. I have 2 for now, which I'll probably use because I don't want to waste any more mana unless I absolutely have to. But do you guys see why I kind of wanted to get to level 3? Oh, thank goodness. So we do have now a 3rd potion that we found in this treasure chest. And we also have a tent, which is nice. I think all we had before was a sleeping bag. Is that correct? So the sleeping bag restores only a little HP to your party. Also saves the game, used outdoors. This restores a lot of HP to your party. Also saves the game and is used outdoors. So I might even use my sleeping bag if I have to. But the enemies outside aren't too terrible. So let's run around to the other corners of the Temple of Chaos. Then we will call this an episode. We should be fine to physically attack as long as they miss and we can get the first hits off. That's really what we need. It'd be great if we could hit level 4 as well. That'll kind of save our bacon here. The enemies aren't playing. So being level 2 here is doable, but it will be a daunting and arduous task for you. Just a ghoul. Oh my gosh, he paralyzed. Rohit, no, how could you? Stop that. This is not cool. Melvin, I'm counting on you. Okay. Very uncool. Guys, we are struggling. Burl came back though, and that's what we really need. Okay, Rohit's back too. Guys, see what I'm talking about? Woo, but that was a lot of gold. So the ghouls are the way to go if you're trying to get some cash. I think I am going to go ahead and use the new potion we picked up. We'll go ahead and put it on Rohit. Really didn't heal us for that much, but that's okay. It was free, so we're not going to cry over spilled milk. Instead, we will just dab it up and move forward. So we should only have 2 more corners to inspect. Oh, crap. Stop focusing Rohit. He knows that he does a lot of damage, and that's the issue here. Please, please, you guys, kill him. Well, Rohit is gone, which is not the best. But I think it'll be fine. Ooh, well, it actually might not be that fine. But it is what it is. Well, and I think we have to actually revive him to bring him back. And I don't think I can use the sleeping bag in here. I think you have to use it outside in the overworld map. We can try it? Yeah, I can't even use it in here. That's okay. We'll just see what's in this little section. Oh, the door is locked with the mystic key, so we'll have to grab that again. Well, what I'll go ahead and do then, friends, I think the bottom one is locked too. I'll go ahead on my own and head outside just to spare you guys from all the repeat fights I'm going to get into. I will go ahead and just heal up and make sure my party's good to go. I guess this might be a good opportunity to show you guys, though, that if you see our current XP, everyone will be equal except for Rohit. So when someone does fall, they don't get XP. So this also is a strategy you could use if you wanted to kind of mass scale only a couple of people and make leveling a little bit faster for certain folks. Since XP is shared equally, so let's say you kill an enemy and he only gives you 4 XP, that means every person in your party, assuming all 4 are alive, will get 1 XP. However, if like 2 people are dead, then that 4 XP is split amongst the 2 or between the 2 that are still standing. So Rohit's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage, but this might not be that bad because it will get Burl, Melvin, and Tyrone up a little bit more. So keep that in mind, though. If you wanted to focus on scaling 1 or 2 people up, this might be an option for you, is purposefully allowing a party member or 2 to fall and then focusing on channeling XP to the 2 that are still standing. But anyway, let's go ahead and part ways here. When we come back together in our next episode, we will be at the start of the Temple of Chaos. We'll go ahead and just head right so that we can see if that other section is locked. It might not be, but I think it is. But just in case there is more treasure in there, I want to go ahead and try to look into it. So thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you in just a moment in episode number 4 of Let's Play Through Final Fantasy Origins, specifically Final Fantasy 1 on the PlayStation 1. Take care, be good, and I'll catch up with you guys here in just a second.